Princess Peach is the living embodiment of the phrase damsel in distress. But in the movie, she's good at everything, when the source material typically shows the exact opposite. That's not always the case though. So today, we're gonna look at Peach's character in every Mario game, and rank her from worthless to elite. Starting with the princess's debut, she does absolutely nothing. With each castle you beat, Toad's there to tell you to keep looking. And when you finally do save her, she sends you off on another quest. What, is she planning on getting kidnapped or something? Come on. Also, for this final fight, she's standing right near the axe that could kill Bowser, and could easily knock it down herself. But nah, Mario can risk his life to do it. That screams worthless tier to me. Next up, the Lost Levels, or Japanese Mario 2. And it's pretty much the same as the first game. Here though, she's not right behind Bowser as you fight him, so she can't really help. And when you save her, she spits bars. Yes, Mario and Hero do rhyme, I guess. Slightly better than the OG, but she still doesn't do jack. As for the US Mario 2, you can actually play as Peach, and she's also the best character in the game, so this is easily elite. You can correct any jump with her ability to float, making her essentially an easy mode. And while that does come at the cost of picking things up quickly, it really doesn't matter. This is peak Princess Peach right here. Mario 3 brings Peach back to her role as kidnappee, but she does periodically help Mario out, way more than she does in the original game. Every time you complete a world, she sends you a letter that tells you about some new enemies or obstacles you'll encounter, and kinda gives you a heads up, which is pretty useful. But she also includes an OP item that can really come in handy, especially later in the game when you just can't beat a level. It's about as helpful as she could be while captured, so this one will sit right below elite tier. Super Mario World is another step back for the princess, because she does nothing throughout the entire game until you reach the final boss, where she throws down some power-ups to help you beat Bowser, which do come in clutch, so it goes here. I don't know how she was able to ship things in Mario 3, but if that's off the table, I guess this is all she can really do. She's not in Yoshi's Island or either of the Mario Land games, so on to Super Mario 64.
I have baked a cake for you.
Oh sweet, this is gonna be great. Just gonna sit down at the castle and have a nice... Of f***ing course. She's captured and doesn't do much of anything. But there is a memo left in the secret slide room that explains the objective of the game, and another in the first Bowser level that tells you how to beat him. But those things are pretty self-explanatory. Still though, it's more than we've gotten in other games, so what goes in barely does anything tier. And same goes for Mario 64 DS. Super Mario Sunshine. A game where Peach pretends to be more helpful than normal, but it doesn't amount to anything. She figures out something sketchy is going on before anybody else, but that doesn't help the situation. And she tries to stand up for Mario in the courtroom, but is shot down immediately. This game kinda just paints her as incompetent. She's just carried around by Shadow Mario, and Mario has to chase him down to free her. And later on when she's actually kidnapped, she just stands around. She could easily hop down from the Bowser mech and use her umbrella to land safely. She does it later in the game. But no, she chooses to stay kidnapped here. I guess the plane they traveled on was hers, so thanks. And the credits show that she caught a giant fish, which is impressive. But overall, her efforts to actually help Mario are all in vain. So this has gotta go in worthless tier. And speaking of worthless tier, right at the start of the game, she's yoinked by Bowser Jr., can't fight off the Tiny Koopa, and does nothing to help the entire time. I expected better from her. Mario Galaxy. Good old Mario Galaxy. One of my favorite games of all time, and one of the most grand-feeling Mario plots ever. At its core though, it's the same as usual. Peach is kidnapped and you have to save her. But like Mario 3, she's able to send letters from Bowser's captivity, and attached to those are typically some 1-up mushrooms, which are really handy in a game that doesn't save your life count. Now, game overs aren't all that intimidating, but still, she's pretty helpful. Same as Mario Bros. DS, but after saving her, and leaving Luigi behind, she tells you about the secret World 9, which is home to some really fun and tough levels. It's not all that useful to Mario, but she does know something he doesn't, and it's useful in a way to the player. so we'll throw it in barely does anything tier. Galaxy 2 is more of the same, except she doesn't know anything we don't, so... With Mario 3D Land, she finally gets back on track. Kinda. Throughout the game, she sends postcards to Mario, which don't have items unfortunately, but one of them shows her knocking out a Goomba and escaping Bowser herself, before being recaptured and caged up. But hey, she tried, and did get away for a second. Also, at the end of Bowser's second castle, when she's tied to the flagpole, she tries to warn Mario as he's about to attack. Again, being fairly useful. I think she earns a comes in clutch for this one, since she does try to have Mario's back, and didn't just kick her feet up and relax in Bowser's castle while waiting to be rescued. The Koopalings kidnap her and Mario has to do everything by himself. Same thing as the last game, but I do want to clarify, Peachette is not Peach. It's a form of Toadette, so her being the best character in the game doesn't do anything for Peach. Finally, we're back to a game where Peach is playable, and once more, she's the best character in the game. Her float is extra useful when platforming in 3D, and it makes her the go-to choice for anyone who's new to the genre. Now, Rosalina's slightly better in my opinion, but you don't unlock her until you beat the main game. And even still, this is Elite no contest. I wasn't sure if I wanted to include this one or not, but it's main series enough, and you can play as Peach, but only after you defeat Bowser and save her. Before that, she does nothing. In-game, she falls a little slower than Mario, which makes the game slightly easier. But by the time you actually unlock her, you already saved the day. She's just doing it for fun, so I can't put it higher than barely does anything. And last but certainly not least, we have Super Mario Odyssey. In the main game, she doesn't help, but the end weirdly paints her as the one in charge. As Mario and Bowser fight over her attention, she hushes them and storms away, leaving them to console each other. So they don't hate each other now? I don't know. But from that point on, she's way more useful, and finds a moon for Mario in every kingdom. For those not 100%ing the game, it doesn't do anything. But the fact that she travels independently and finds things that are useful makes me have to put this one somewhere in the middle. And there you have it.